put this on. Great. I'm here on a 2:15 on a Sunday, beautiful Sunday afternoon in the studio at the Cleveland Institute of Music, and my guest is Arseny Tarasevich-Nikolaev from Russia. You're 20 years old, and you just played two fantastic first and second rounds.
Thank you.
I enjoyed them very much. And yesterday's performance, your Bach, was absolutely beautiful. The partita in G minor.
G major.
G major. Ah, sorry. Yes. That was quite nice, and I was really taken with the Kapustin, the 8 concert etudes. You did numbers 1, 2, 6, and 7.
That's correct.
Yeah, and one of the requirements of the competition is a composition after 1950.
Yes, and I would say that was really hard choice for me because, well, I'm not such a big fan of contemporary music, and I really think that probably, well, the last great composer which invented something new, and it was still music, it was still about music, was probably Messiaen. Yes, and well, after that I can say that all classical music, so to say, there were some, new inventions, but still it was not, well, it wasn't so sincere, I would say, and after neoclassics, well, it went, I would say, mathematical. It went music by mind, and sometimes it's really, it's really interesting just to read the scores, but not to listen to it, because yes, it can be amazing. It can be, well, written just astonishing, and but still I'm not able to listen to this. So I'm just looking for something new. I'm looking for probably some neo-romantic works. And to speak of, well, modern music still, it's almost classic, but I love jazz.
Oh, yes.
I always loved jazz, and well, I was absolutely fond of Oscar Peterson, for example, or Louis Armstrong, these jazz gods.
Yes.
And the pieces I chosen by Nikolai Kapustin, well, that's really, for me, it's, well, probably the best thing I could have chosen, especially for the competition, because of course after 50s there were Preludes and Fugues by Shostakovich, for example, and some of the contestants have chosen them, and that's right, but I just thought that Bach and Shostakovich, Preludes and Fugues, and well, still it's competition, and there are some, I would say, rules, well, and you have to choose something probably more brilliant, and well, jury, it's not. I'm not sure it's they really like sitting all these hours and listening to this serious music all the way, and for me that would be that's really hard work.
Right.
So you need something just to probably at some point even to relax them. Yes.
Well, I can tell you that when you began those, it was a breath of fresh air into the auditorium. And also, you said that you love jazz. I think that became quite evident from the very beginning of these pieces. Yeah. I've heard people perform them, and they do a very good job, but you have to have the rhythms
No, but still, of course, I just, I'm absolutely sure that classical pianists, the academic pianists, they're not able to play jazz like real jazz pianists, and it's just impossible because you have to do this. Well, like you have to have some different background, like Ray Charles, who just started to play without knowing notes, and still I tried, and Kapustin still I think that it's not, well, it's not fixed jazz.
Right.
After all, it's not only that, because it's something else. Still there are some, for me, some romantic, well, some romantic tunes, some romantic things. So.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that you certainly caused a lot of conversation to happen after that with amongst people who were probably, all they heard was the jazz.
I see.
And, sometimes, and with this, I became very interested as, we need to keep progressing in how we think of music, because young musicians now have to play all sorts of different styles of music.
Yes.
Of course,
but still,
yeah.
Probably I haven't found my style, my style yet, because, well, I'm playing almost everything. Well, but still, yes, mostly I play romantic pieces, so, but still, I try to find something new.
Yeah.
And, well, I have some friends and acquaintances, some composers, so the youngest ones. And I'm really interested in what is going to happen,
Right, exactly. And when did you first know that you liked jazz? Did your growing up somehow? Or?
Oh, I guess, well, I was rather young. Well, it was maybe at 6 or 7 years old. Well, first, of course, was classical music, and I would say, but still, I always liked, rhythms and different, swings, and probably my most favorite, my favorite piece of maybe when I was 4 or 5 years old was Rite of Spring by Stravinsky, and I was just, I could do anything just to listen to it for another time, and it was like, it was doing something with my blood, with my just physic, my physic, well, I would say.
Well.
Still, and so on. I just listened to more of different jazz. Well, yes, I probably first of jazz was Louis Armstrong. Yes. Right. Yeah. So I loved him.
Yeah. And do you listen to any other types of music? Because we were talking very much here about classical music and jazz, but...
Well, I would say I can eat everything, almost everything, and I listen to really very different types of music, and probably even, well, at some point maybe it's not so good, because I like to listen to, some more primitive, well, they call it primitive, but still I think it's just about something else, because music, it can be like, well, high, it can, send us to heaven, or make us think some really high thoughts, and at the same point it can, affect our just bodies, just when you want to move, and so I listen to some rock music. I even listened to trip hop music. I listen to absolutely different styles, and so I have of course, well, I would say that classical music it's the biggest and the most different world. But still, other styles, they have their they right to exist, and still I would say that they have maybe they concentrate you on one state, on one feeling, and then they just make you feel this all the way. Just maybe one sentence as well. So classical music is like a book.
Yes.
And you have just one mantra. I don't know. And
right.
They tell you sometimes it's great. It's great, but then sometimes it has to to do something with your mood. Just be in the right mood to listen to this music. And classical music, it makes your mood.
Yes.
So.
That's interesting. Yeah, I feel exactly. I feel that same way. Yeah, definitely. Well, now that your first 2 rounds are over, and you have to wait until tomorrow night, probably very late. How are you staying sane, or is it even a matter of sane, or is it just something you're used to doing?
I'm not this competition monster. Well, so yes, of course, I'm probably a bit nervous, because of course I was much more nervous before playing.
Yes.
Because after you played, as for example, as it says in America, you've done your job.
Yes.
So now you can, at least I can. Well, I'm almost relaxed, so I just play something for the semi-final and final, and still I'm thinking about something else. Not about if I will pass or not.
Right.
Because, well, it's competition and absolutely everything can happen. It's difficult. It's not sport.
Right. Exactly.
So there are no fixed categories of how you made it.
Right. Well, you are a fantastic pianist. I have enjoyed both of your rounds, and I thank you so much for taking the time to talk. And good luck
Thank you,
tomorrow
Mike.
evening. So,
Thank you, Mike.
okay.